Okay, I was astounded, Soledad. I was astounded by that story. I had zero knowledge of the fact that this exists. But my issue is it's still not a sport.
Do you have any statistics on how many of those people also go to Star Trek conventions?
It's a game.
That's not a sport.
That's not a
That's not a sport.
It's not a
I
real
want to talk
sport.
about the 20 million people who are watching the damn thing.
And the money
They
that
gotta
they're
be
making.
crazier than
they're
the ones
paying big money to watch.
Esports. That's a hard one, actually.
It stands for electronic sports, doesn't it? No, I think that's probably the perfect word for it.
Esports, it's just sports but for your brain and your fingers.
Yeah, how would you describe? I think it's for money. I think you just have to start with like hobby, and that would just, and then you have to go from there. It's like, okay, well, what is it? Like, what's it about?
It's difficult, isn't it? There's a lot of things that are esports. There's grassroots events like this, there's the big, massive money-making things that League of Legends have. It's competitive video gaming, really. It's anything that's athletic but in front of a TV screen. That's electronic sports.
I'll probably define esports as like where you would play with like using your mind more than you use like, for example, football. You're kicking a football, rugby, you're going around the ball. It's like more mental, like more of a mental sport. Like a mental way to compete with one another rather than like actually physically doing something.
It's silly just saying computer games, right? But you know, it's competitive video gaming, I guess, because esport is different things. Like everything from Call of Duty to games on handheld consoles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Picture playing video games at your house, but instead just for money. That's a really good way of putting it.
I don't think anyone would complain with a surplus of money, or an income. I mean, as opposed to the standard job that I know a lot of students have, so some people working by the till, a bar, a checkout, anything like that. I'd pick this any day, but I think most people would. So maybe I was just fortunate to fall into the position where I don't have to get changed into work clothes and walk or drive to my work. I don't have to sit in an office or behind a bar. I can literally wear whatever. I could sit in a onesie here and work at my desk at home. Like, it's such a chill job. I get a £4,000 bursary from the MOD each year, so that'll go towards my accommodation. But things in terms of living expenses and things like that will all come from playing games. So I'm sort of like self-funded through uni from playing games. So yeah, so I've been in probably about just over a dozen tournaments in the UK. Quite small scale, so viewership probably in like the region of 200 to 300 people. In terms of big scale tournaments, I was in Anaheim, California 2 years ago. That was to attend BlizzCon, which is Blizzard's big event. And I was also in New Jersey for a tournament in the same period that was on a summer holiday. I've also competed in Barcelona and Paris. I don't know, I've always been really competitive. I'm competitive as a person, definitely in real life as well. So in sports, in anything I do, exams, even at uni, I've tried my hardest to try and be best on my course. So yeah, it translates into everything in life, really.
Are you a naturally competitive person, would you say?
No, not really. It's just video games, because I've always seen myself as quite good at them, and I aspire to be better than people I know. I've always liked competitive games like Counter-Strike. I've always enjoyed. I was always on console, and then I moved to PC like 5 years ago, and since then a lot of my friends were really into competitive gaming on COD 4, and yeah, that's where it started really. And Rocket League I picked up when it first came out, and I just played it a lot and ended up getting pretty good at it. I love competitive gaming because I love trash talking, and I love having someone talking. Can I swear?
Yeah, go on.
I love when players talk shit and I just destroy them in game. It's just the best thing. I love it.
Welcome back to Insomnia 60. We are on day 3, and what a weekend it has been so far.
this could be it. They just have to stand on the payload. Is there one last person? No, they have been cleared off the board. Team Singularity Gaming take Hollywood, then they take the series.
Sebastian McCallum, I'm 24 years old, live in Denmark, come from Denmark obviously. I play Overwatch competitively for Team Singularity as the shot caller and team captain.
Running very, very low. Lanterns there as he just cataclysms the team. This is Vango going down. This might be the end of the base. They're dropping the towers, and it looks like Enclave Gaming will be your I-60 champions. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Enclave Gaming.
What an ending.
Yeah, I take it really seriously because I'm just like a really competitive guy. So like any game that I play, I want to play at the top level. But just for personal reasons, I don't really want to go into esports as a profession. I would prefer to like pursue my own degree and stuff like. Yeah, I just do it more just to relax and just exercise my brain.
As a team, we spend around 35 hours a week on training as a team, and then we have the individual times next to this as well. Obviously, we're not full-time on the ship. Most of us have studies next to this. I actually have a son as well, so it's all about balancing everything out, yeah. So social life doesn't really exist for any of us at this point.
The question that always bugs me about esports is when they say it's not a sport.
Depends on how you look at sports, right? Again, mindset is the same as any other thing. The physical part is obviously missing, but then you can debate whether do you see chess as a sport or, well, yeah, I guess that's just from opinion to opinion.
When you look at the professionals, it really comes down to mental agility rather than physical, ability.
35 hours as a team, and then we put in a couple of hours individually every day. That's a lot of time. That's more than most part-time, I guess, footballers, rugby plus whatever you want to call it. But it's not just playing. You need to sit down, talk about. Like, there's so much tactic involved in this. Like, you need your head with you as well. Like, you can kill stuff, sure, but people respawn. So you need to sit down, you need to think about stuff and learn. You need the same determination in order to become the best. Like, you need to put in a ton of hours, and you can't just keep going. Like, your brain is a muscle as well, so it needs to relax in order to absorb all the things you learn.
I would say it is a sport in itself. Obviously, it's in the name, esports, but a lot of people will argue that, it's not a skill, it's not a sport, it's just nerdy gamers sat in their chair playing a game.
I think there's a stigma still with competitive gaming. Like, the older generation just don't get it. It's getting there, but I think it's still got a long way to go, because I just think there's a stigma on it. It's just still seen as really nerdy, whereas I think it's a viable sport.